I only hope that we never lose sight of one thing, that it was all started by a mouse.
Hello, everyone out there in podcast land. This is the Beyond the Mouse podcast, the podcast for all things Disney for NPR Illinois Community Voices and for the Front Row Network. I'm your host today, Craig, and I'm joined by my co-host, Ms. Vanessa Ferguson.
Well, hello, Craig McFarland. Are you ready to go into the unknown with me today?
I got to tell you, I've been so excited all day. I just need to just let it go and get it out there, right?
Yes.
You've taken all the songs. There's nothing left for me.
That is so untrue.
What? No, that is totally untrue. I will start by defying gravity and saying that, hi, I'm Brett.
You didn't even let me introduce you, Brett Rutherford.
I'm sorry. I was just so excited.
Absolutely. You're so excited that maybe you're over the moon with me.
Oh my gosh.
That's for you Rent fans out there.
That was good.
Yeah. I thought that one was pretty good. Puns aside, we are talking today to newly minted Disney legend Idina Menzel and also her sister Cara Menzel, and they have collaborated together to bring out a children's book called Loud Mouse. And it's really this story about this mouse who determines that they have this talent, and they're coached on by their sister, and they then go into the classroom one day and build up all of this confidence and everything else. I don't want to tell you the rest because we can't spoil the book here, but it is just a wonderful tale. And what I love about these two is this is really the second time that they've collaborated on a book. Now, the first time came out as Cara Menzel, basically almost like a memoir on sisterhood called Voice Lessons, but Idina was very intimately involved in that process. Actually, that process for Voice Lessons started as someone coming to her and saying, you should write your own autobiography. And she said, I'm not going to do that. And then they said, well, your sister is an author. Maybe she could ghostwrite it for you. And she's like, she's not going to ghostwrite it. So what they decided instead was to do kind of these tales and different things that happened throughout their life, sort of from the sisters' perspective, which is super interesting. If you think about the global superstar that Idina Menzel is, to be able to see her growth in her life through her sister's perspective, and then to get Cara's insights on how she is growing up. I mean, it's beautiful. I cannot recommend Voice Lessons enough. And then I'm also really excited because Loud Mouse is coming out right this week, and I was able to read it to my son, and he absolutely loved it as well. So now, not only for adults, but also kiddos can read this children's book as well. Are you excited, Brett, to get a chance to talk to Cara and Idina today?
Yes. I mean, that's the kind of a duh, but yes, absolutely. So excited. I can't wait because I just saw Idina at D23 Expo, and now we get to talk to her. Are you kidding me? This is just too good. So anyway, that's all I have to say. Can't wait.
Absolutely. How about you, Vanessa? Softball question to you now. Are you excited to talk to these two?
So thrilled. And part of that reason is because I always like to see the human side of some of our celebrities. And I think getting to have her family, her sister there, just really adds to that dynamic. And so I'm excited to talk to both of them. I really appreciate what they've done with this book, and I can't wait to learn more about it.
Absolutely. So with that, we were granted about 15 minutes here with these two. And so we're going to try to squeeze in as much as possible for you. So here it is, our interview with Cara Menzel and now newly minted Disney legend Idina Menzel. Cara, I could talk about your book, Voice Lessons, for hours. I recommend it for anybody that has siblings, but that's not what we're here for today. We're here to talk about Loud Mouse, and I'm wondering if you could tell us what really inspired you to team up with your sister to write a children's tale.
Well, she's the inspiration. She's so inspiring, and she came up with an idea that I thought only she should tell. And then we had to figure out how best to tell it. So and then we thought about it after the fact, and we were like, well, duh, we probably should have thought about writing a children's book sooner, because I'm a teacher and a writer, and you're Elsa and all these other amazing, characters. So anyway, it just turned out to be perfect. Yeah. But she has the inspiration for the book, and it's not surprising.
I've been asked for several years, maybe you should write a children's book, but I just didn't I don't know, it just was really important for me that it came from the right place. And then it started to unfold for me that a really honest experience for me was when I was little, and, recognizing that I had a gift and I had a special talent, but how conflicted I was when I was younger, and how to express that, communicate it, share it, and what the positives and negatives are when you really lean into that. So that was important to me to sort of have that conversation with kids, and then to have this relationship with my sister, and her to come from the teaching and education perspective, and her emphasis on literacy, and all of that felt like just we could really do it right. And it was just became this labor of love, and it really came out really easy. It's so funny how the projects that you just do from your heart, that you don't overthink, that are just organic, then they just come so easy, and we found this home with Disney Publishing, and we had so much fun with it, and people are getting it. And so it's just such a lesson, as opposed to those projects where you're just trying to nail it in, and you're desperate to make it work. And so anyway, it was just wonderful to be collaborators together, and to do this together, and to do it with someone that's the closest person to me, one of the closest people to me in the world, who I know gets me and understands me.
That's great.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I really appreciate Loud Mouse. As a loud musical kid, I think I would have benefited from having a book like this growing up. And in this story, we see the mouse Dee grow larger as her confidence builds, but then she shrinks when it starts to wane. And Idina, I was wondering if you had experience like this in your performing career, and how did you build your confidence back up?
I mean, that's till this day is a constant journey for me. So I'm not going to tell the kids that 50 years later, they'll still be contending with that. No, I mean, it's just, that's the thing, is when you're doing something you love and you're passionate about, there's nothing like it in the world. And when I'm singing, I'm transported. Sometimes I'm not, sometimes I'm in my head, sometimes I'm my own worst enemy, but there are moments when I transcend all of that, and I'm 100% free and feel closest to my true self. And that's exhilarating. And then it can all come crashing down if there's a reaction that's unexpected, or if I feel like maybe I exposed too much of myself, made myself too vulnerable. So all of those things is just, especially as creative people, we have to make ourselves vulnerable, which also makes us delicate souls, makes us open to scrutiny, exposed to scrutiny. And it's all one. It all comes in, how do I want to say? It's all part of it. And it's sort of the gift and the curse. And so that comes with getting older, is understanding that that's what makes the whole journey of being a creative person. That's how it goes. But when you're younger, I think that could be scary,
Mm-hmm.
and so I just want kids. I think that what I love about our book is that it's very layered. And there's the main message of what I believe, being your biggest, brightest self, and leaning into that, right? And never shying away from what makes you big and exceptional and beautiful in the world. But I also think there's other layers, and that will unfold as parents read this book with their kids, and as they developmentally change and grow up a little bit, I think more things will reveal themselves. One, this dynamic between the two sisters, the way the kids are really supportive of this little mouse who's shining, whereas that wasn't really always the case when I was younger. There were definitely kids that I felt like, didn't like me when I was doing that. So that made me not want to show my talents. But we made a concerted effort to actually stay positive and rewrite that experience so that kids could see what it looks like to be supportive of other kids,
That's so great. And I'm turning 36 tomorrow, but I'm still scared of those moments. So I totally get that. But Brett, I think that you had our next question.
I loved the writing in Loud Mouses, especially the wonderful descriptive similes. The language was so good, and it was so beautifully written and such a great message. I mean, for your audience, which is probably on the younger side, but not, I mean, for everyone. Hello. It spoke to me as well. But Cara, I have a question. I wanted to ask about the process of working with your illustrator, Jacqueline Zinquet. How was that? How did you choose her? Did she come to you? How did that happen? And how did you create these characters together?
So that was one of the most fun parts, I think, for Dee and I was, you get to see different illustrators work, not just from picking up books and looking, but, our editor sent us stuff to look at too. And then there's how much their vision sort of, well, first it's kind of vibe, right? But then at some point we said, okay, here's a scene from the book. How would you depict it? And then it became very clear whose images had the energy and had the activity and had the detail and the humor that kind of matched what the text was going for, and that would complement one another. And I mean, first of all, there were so many unbelievably talented people that we were pretty much blown away. And we were like, well, let's write 10 more books so we can write one with all these other people.
Sure.
Yeah, but that was really, really fun. And some of it, like, when we were writing, we'd have the image in our head. And so it would be very specific. This is exactly, what you want that page to look like. And this is what kind of animal that character is. And other times it was like, go for it. So, that's how we sculpted it, I think.
That's great. Well, I'm a digital media artist, so I've just got to ask about that part too. So great. Thank you.
Now, Idina, we haven't heard it yet, but we did hear that you got together with a couple of your friends to perhaps put a song to Loud Mouse as well. And I'm wondering if you could give us a little bit of the details, since this interview will come out after its release. So give it to us. We've been waiting to hear all these details.
Okay, well, yeah. So I guess it's just the way that I guess it's unconventional to have a song come out with a book. Maybe, I don't know. I think I've heard that before, but I just felt like, well, we have a refrain in the book, and I wanted just people to start to really envision the world, and I'm just a songwriter, so I hear things and see things like that. So yeah, I got together with one of my co-writing friends, Laura Veltz, and we wrote it here, actually, in my living room at the piano one day. But as Cara says, Cara's reservation was that if I sing it too well, it will intimidate all parents when they have to sing it to their kids. And then, as the last interviewer said, not to worry, because Let It Go is sung really well, but everyone's not afraid to sing that song.
That's right. You're right.
So I'm going to take that, I'm going to not worry about that. And yeah, it's just, it's part of my creative process to continue the evolution of the character and how she would sound if she was doing it. But I want everyone to know they can totally make up their own melody and sing it however they want, but it's a whole full on song, but the part that's from the book goes, with my tail and with my tail, her tail is her microphone, of course. With my tail in my hand, my whiskers are proud. I sing it big, I sing it la 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 la. That's a little bit of it.
Oh, wow.
That's so great. I read that to my son, and I tried to sing what I thought the melody would be. And I'm just telling you that I think
sounded exactly like that, right?
I think you did it better than I did. I'm just going to throw it out there. Imagine that. But
that's a good thing about having kids. They thought yours was better than mine would ever be.
No, he would let me know. He would say, no, she's better than you, Daddy.
Yeah, that's fair.
Well, we really love the book, and I understand that there could be some future sequels coming out to the book. We hope that does happen, that we can see you again when that happens. But Brett, I think you have our last question for us.
Oh, well, I recently attended D23 Expo in Anaheim. Now we didn't get an announcement for an upcoming Frozen 3. yet. But but you and your Frozen castmates did receive a wonderful honor being named Disney Legends,
Yeah.
Idina. So
Yes, you are
what
in the
was your
presence of a legend.
yes, well, so well earned, and we are very,
I
very
laugh.
much
I'm
honored.
laughing at it.
No, it's great.
Okay.
No, it's great.
Yeah.
But what was your takeaway, or what was your experience or your takeaway that day besides lifetime Disney park passes? like that was worth your evening, wasn't it?
It was a very moving, emotional day for me. Yeah, for all of us, especially to share it together. It's just, yeah, I mean, it's like I look back on the little D mouse here who's dreaming of being able to sing for a living and be recognized for her talent. And, what a dream come true to be the voice of this iconic Disney princess turned queen, and then also to be there on behalf of Enchanted on the same day. I was just having a good career day. It felt good.
Yeah.
Looking
The
forward
next
to
day, I
that
probably
too.
couldn't get out of bed with depression, but the D23 day was good.
You take the up with the down. Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, and now
Thank you.
Cara, she's gonna every Thanksgiving and all of that. She's gonna be like, the legend is here, right? Is that what's gonna happen every time?
Yeah.
So
That was the
I will
Josh
say,
moment,
just
wasn't it?
as we wrap, just thank you to the both of you for putting this book and this art and creativity out into the world. And Cara, what I love about Voice Lessons as we wrap up here is that you start, and actually, Idina, you write in that foreword that yes, your talent is singing, and you were able to explore that, and then you knew that your sister had such a talent for writing, and I can tell you that that book immediately speaks to you. And I have two brothers, and like I said, if anyone can go out there and check out Voice Lessons, do it. It's so great. The audiobook was wonderful, and then also, of course, pick up Loudmouse as soon as you possibly can and read it to those kiddos. But thank you both so much for your time today. We really appreciate you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. That was
Thank
great.
you.
That was amazing. Okay, first of all, I am sitting here and asking a question about the song that we get to hear very shortly that's coming out. And then she starts singing. I mean, are you kidding me? Like, you get your own little private Zoom concert with Idina Menzel. How was that, Vanessa?
Wow. I mean, I saw Frozen like 4 times in the theater. It was one of my favorite films. It still is one of my favorite films. If you would have asked me all those years ago, do you think Adina's ever going to serenade you? I would have said no, but here I am today, and it happened, and I am shook.
Yeah, it was just incredible. And then also we got a chance to talk to Cara about sort of the process and how it came to be. And I love that Idina jumped onto that question too, because it really is this collaboration between the two of them. Brett, your thoughts on the conversation that we just had with both of them?
I think, well, okay, this is not her character, but I think they probably finish each other's sandwiches, don't you think? Or
Nice. We're
it was
back on the puns.
It's so
Yes.
cute. It's just the relationship you can just tell just from the short time that we had with them, and and then reading the book. I mean, it's a great lesson for anyone at any age, because I think we're theater people. So when she mentions in the book, again, spoiler alert, sorry, is when you find your best self when you're there. And, I mean, that's a lesson, not just for being on the stage, but just in general, too. And so that takeaway is wonderful. But yes, the private concert was very nice. Thank you.
And she said something that I really, really appreciate about the book. And being, like I said in the interview, being a loud musical child, I often did try to make myself smaller and quieter so I wouldn't get picked on, or so that other kids would like me. And the fact that they didn't put any kind of bullying in the book to teach other kids how to treat each other, to how to treat those kids that maybe are a little bit louder. I just really appreciated that. I feel like it's a great story, whether you're an extrovert or an introvert, whether you're loud, you're quiet. There's something really there for any kid to learn from. And I love the book. I think it's so great. And I really appreciate all the thought they put into writing it.
And if we can speculate, you mentioned that hopefully there's more books on the horizon, but wouldn't it be really cool to see Loud Mouse continue and to be able to kind of build this into a set of stories that you can share with kids about issues like confidence and even finding your own true talent? I think that there's messages that abound in this book for sure. And I love that because, again, if you have the opportunity to go pick up the audiobook version of Voice Lessons, Idina reads the foreword and she kind of explains how that book came to be. And one of the things that she points out is that, yes, she's the one that everyone knows because of her voice, but her sister is equally as talented as her, and particularly with words. And so that's why she knew that she would be the best person to write this book. And so it's just really cool to see. And I gotta mention this because this comes from one of the early chapters, but I actually wrote it down when I was listening through it. And this is Cara talking about Idina and that relationship between sisters. And she said, I didn't want to just need her to be able to have her in my life, meaning I didn't want to just have her in those moments where I'm in need of comfort or someone to be able to bounce off of. I wanted her in my life. And I just thought that that was, I think anybody that has siblings can really relate to that in particular, because there are those times where maybe you drift away a little bit from your brothers or sisters. And it's just really so cool. I can't recommend it enough. It's a wonderful, wonderful listen or read. I don't read with my eyes very often, but I'm sure that would be a nice read as well. But it was just great to be able to talk to both of them today. Thank you so much to Disney Publishing for the opportunity. I should say that Loud Mouse is actually going to be coming out on September 27th. So that is next week. I believe earlier I said it was available now. So correcting myself a little bit there, it will be coming out on September 27th. It is available for pre-order. You can actually go to Disney Publishing's website and they'll link you to all the major retailers, but I'm sure you can also find this at independent bookstores, wherever you want to look for it. Any final thoughts before I start to give all of our plugs, Mr. Rutherford?
What an honor. She kind of downplays Idina. I'm saying Idina. Anyway, Idina sort of downplays the Disney legend. And, I think, in time she will go, nope. Yeah, I am a Disney legend. And got Josh Gad too. And, Kristen and all of John, everyone. So, but yeah, I'm going, it was amazing to see her on stage just a couple of weeks ago. And now to have her in my own Zoom little screen here was amazing. And Cara was so charming too. You could see that they just had a wonderful sisterhood and, so
absolutely.
Just a great moment.
Vanessa, do you have any final thoughts?
I hope you all really enjoy the book, Loud Mouse. I very much enjoyed it. I loved speaking with the two sisters today. I love their relationship, as Brett said. And I'm really hoping that we get to see a follow-up book, maybe from Cara's perspective. I just think they have great stories to tell, and I hope they don't stop anytime soon.
Nope. Oh man, wouldn't that be cool? And I mean, not to put this label on their relationship, but if it was Loud Mouse and then there was Quiet Mouse or something like that, and that was more Cara's path, and that'd be a really neat concept. We should definitely pitch that to them, Disney Publishing for sure. But that was
Disney Plus too. We need the everything.
Oh yeah,
that's right,
version.
absolutely. These wonderful illustrations. You mentioned the illustrator to Cara, and it's just incredible. But I imagine that this might be one of our more popular episodes on Beyond the Mouse. So if this is one of your first episodes listening to us, you can hear us talk to, actually, we've spoken to 9 other Disney legends. So go and check out those interviews. We've also talked to a lot of people from around the Disney space. We do like to also just kind of goof around by ourselves as well and talk movies and parks and everything else that we love Disney. You can find those anywhere you find podcasts by searching for Beyond the Mouse. You can also follow us on social. So we are Beyond the Mouse Pod on Instagram, also Beyond Mouse on Twitter. And then on Facebook, we have 2 areas you can go to. You can go to our Facebook page, which is Beyond the Mouse Podcast. But I also really encourage you to go to Beyond the Mouse Podcast Pals, because that's where we usually like to break news or just kind of discuss things that are going on in Disney. We put a lot of D23 content up there from Brett. He went live a lot in that group. So you got to see sort of from the floor what was going on. And it's just a really fun and positive space. So go and join us there for sure. We have a lot of really fun episodes coming up in the relatively near future. We should have some additional D23 coverage for you, D23 Expo coverage for you. And then I will also say that we have some sisters joining us on our Disney Plus screen really soon. Hocus Pocus 2 is just around the corner. You better believe we will be doing a full disclosure review on that film in the relatively near future. And we have some other fun things in the works that we're not quite ready to tell you about yet, but we will in all due time. So it's just been so great to get to talk to both of these wonderful people today. And we just really appreciate the opportunities that have been given to us. And it's because of listeners like you that we get these continued opportunities. So thank you so much. So for Beyond the Mouse, I am Craig.
I'm Vanessa.
And I'm Brett.
And we will see you real soon in the front row. Perhaps the front row of your own Idina Menzel Zoom concert. I don't know.
Oh my gosh. Been there, done that. Have the screenshot.
How did that happen?